Which of these altcoins will drop the most? Is this God's punishment? How much higher can NVIDIA go? Where did the Chinese learn to create such beautiful artificial intelligence?
Which of these eggs is bigger? How much does baking powder make the cake rise? How does the cream smell so good? Where did my dad learn to make cakes like this?
Crypto is looking for a place to drop. Oh, he's just waiting for something to happen so he can fall. While NVIDIA is rising, it is falling because it rose too high. Then, when NVIDIA is falling, it drops because NVIDIA fell. Honestly, I don't know how much we can maintain our mental health with this altcoin market, because it really has taken a toll. And it's funny, but also tragicomic because we're living it right now. Maybe with some time, it will turn into something funny. Right now, we're going through a tragicomic and even tragic process with these altcoins. Guys, there's Sam Altman and his team in America, as you know. You've probably heard of ChatGPT and all that. We use it almost every day. These guys have been developing an artificial intelligence model since 2018. They achieved this with ChatGPT and an investment of about $15 billion. Right now, the company's value is around $147 billion. But Elon Musk was involved in this from the beginning. But then he left this organization. It's normally a non-profit organization. Actually, Elon Musk thinks like this. I don't think Sam will use artificial intelligence with good intentions. It's risky, and in a way, I believe he actually wants to slow down ChatGPT. These are my personal opinions. But it was accepted as Elon's curse from Far East. There's a company from China called DeepSeek, friends. This is a company that means deep search. These guys said they would do it with $5.5 million. Look, I just said $14 billion. There's a 1,000-fold difference. 1 in 1,000 at a third of the price. Built better AI model ChatGPT for 5.5 to 12 months cheap. They said they developed the AI model in 12 months. And they said it's very cheap. The nation said, then why should we buy billions of dollars worth of artificial intelligence? Let's buy NVIDIA. A sense of panic has emerged. And NVIDIA and NASDAQ took a sharp decline. And in response, the altcoins, of course, said, if you drop by 1, I'll drop by 2. It fell faster than all of them. Because he thinks of himself as a product of technology. And it's a risky asset. Risky assets drop harder when the market is falling. Today, we will really talk about whether DeepSeek poses a risk for NVIDIA and NASDAQ. What is DeepSeek? What it is not, and why the altcoins dropped, we will look into these. Move on to our video. I hope you've missed me, because I've missed making videos for you. I've missed reading your comments and responding. I'm back in front of you again. This morning, you opened your eyes. Everyone is talking about DeepSeek, and I know the pronunciation is a bit strange, but that's how it's pronounced, guys. Everyone has become an expert on DeepSeek for years. They've been using it for months or days, and now they're actually talking about what a huge threat it is. They're all experts. Influencers and YouTubers and so on. As a YouTuber, I am also a DeepSeek expert, and of course, I prepared a video to talk about it. Joking aside, DeepSeek is a concept I've just heard about too, but I've researched it and started using it. It's an artificial intelligence model that works on the same model as ChatGPT, guys. You can think of it as a software. What are the differences? Here are the differences. I mentioned it at the beginning of the video. ChatGPT was developed by OpenAI with a $15 billion investment. They say they achieved this with $5.5 million. Of course, that's their claim. And some voices from the West say there is no such world. I'm going to talk about these. OpenAI has 22 times more employees compared to DeepSeek. And right now you can see it on the screen, guys. DeepSeek says that they have performed well in AI, Monte, code forces, mathematical operations, and many other models. All of them have surpassed ChatGPT. In summary, they've surpassed OpenAI's models, and they say they did it with very little money. Everyone ate this. So why should we buy NVIDIA chips that are so expensive? Unnecessary. And the wave of sales that NVIDIA has started, now those who are in profit panicked and sold. Some people shorted it, and NVIDIA dropped. When NVIDIA dropped, tech stocks also fell. Let's say NASDAQ is the technology index. The NASDAQ 100 also dropped. When the NASDAQ 100 dropped, altcoins fell. I'll get to that later. Now, let's talk about NVIDIA and NASDAQ. Is there really a reason for NVIDIA to panic? NVIDIA's investor. Let's take a look at that. Now, we need to examine this first. Did I really achieve this with $5.5 million? When we look at the DeepSeek company, they have employed over 100 doctoral research assistants from the best universities in China for just a little over a year and have paid them salaries. When we look at it, if they pay each of them $2,500 to $3,000 a month, that already adds up to a cost of $5.5 million. Besides this, there's a topic that everyone is overlooking. The DeepSeek company isn't going to the sea and shoveling up sand to cover semiconductors. It's buying NVIDIA's old chips. Why the old chips? Because America is imposing an embargo on China. Honestly, they don't want artificial intelligence to be passed on too much. Because countries are competing in this area, we're also competing a lot. We also need to make a move in this area. Anyway, let's get back to the topic. It says you can sell lower power chips. If open uses 2 units of power, DeepSeek will work with chips that use 1 unit of power. Think of it this way. In the end, they are using NVIDIA's GPUs for salaries, plus artificial intelligence chips. Renting a place on top of that, electricity. These GPUs consume a lot of electricity after all. When you take this into account, some voices from the West are saying that it's unachievable for $5.5 million. There is a claim there might be a setup involved. Now, let me explain a bit and we can have a little chat. Look, it was ChatGPT, the other one. Look, we are typing this ChatGPT, chatgpt.com. It's great, I'm using it, so I'm using this day and night. I've been using DeepSeek all day today. I took a look at it a bit last night, and it's nice. That's nice too. I mean, we can say it's a successful artificial intelligence robot software. What's the difference? I'm paying $20 a month for ChatGPT. I'm using the basic version. Paying $200. Right now, DeepSeek is free. Well, even if it's free, when it has 1 billion users, that AI just can't keep up. So, the GPU is needed there. So how many users does it have? It crashed multiple times today. Everyone is talking about DeepSeek. So, what's the difference? The difference is ChatGPT is not open source. So we can't see the code. But friends, DeepSeek is open source. Here, the reason why ChatGPT becomes a commercial product is important. Yes, right now DeepSeek could be a commercial product, but if there's a nice algorithm in the open source model, of course, Western AI development companies can easily copy it. If they discover an amazing technology, they will copy it, friends. This is one. So, one is a closed source commercial product, and the other is an open source product. This makes it a bit of a disadvantage. We know what's inside it but still there is something that DeepSeek has achieved. Scientific proof is, these aren't clear because they need to be presented and proven scientifically. According to the announcement, there's a 100 times difference in CPU performance, but it doesn't yield a higher performance. There's a twofold efficiency, meaning it uses chips that are 2 times more efficient for various tasks. This is a great development for this technology. Now, a perception has formed that we will be able to use fewer chips with the NVIDIA chip and be more efficient. There's a perception that half of the NVIDIA chips will go to waste or that there will be less demand. But here's the thing, the English economist William Stanley Jevons says that if we manage to use a resource more efficiently and develop a method for it, the consumption of that resource doesn't decrease. On the contrary, it increases. He explains this with coal consumption. He's explaining this with coal consumption then. More efficient steam engines were developed, reducing coal cost and increasing efficiency, leading to greater use. Less coal was used. This increased the efficiency of steam engines so much that their usage increased, because production is cheaper and more widespread. That's why it's used more and there's a greater need for coal. If artificial intelligence becomes cheaper to access, people will prefer it more. I think this is a good development for NVIDIA in the medium to long term. It's not a bad development. People panicked and sold, but I think it's a good development. Why are the coins dropping? The first question is this. Let's take a look at a NASDAQ chart here. Friends, when we look at NASDAQ, it experienced a very sharp drop and then a very sharp rise. Of course, altcoins are following that trend. They are dropping, but they are not rising as intensely. Now, there is a graph like this. We've been experiencing a significant drop since December, and friends, it started to rise in mid-January. We're looking at the same graph. Bitcoin has shown a similar correlation, but altcoins haven't been able to... It dropped in the same way, but when it was time to rise, it didn't. Why? Trump released 2 coins back to back, and I think the volume has shifted in that direction. This is my personal opinion. That's why altcoins haven't risen enough. But Bitcoin wasn't affected by this at all. But that doesn't concern you at all because you've invested in an altcoin. You don't hold any Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is valuable, friends. Never forget, Bitcoin is valuable. Now, we're back. NASDAQ has dropped. When NASDAQ drops, altcoins operate in parallel correlation. And here, NASDAQ experienced a very sharp decline because NASDAQ is unnecessary. There is view NVIDIA is unnecessary. I think this is somewhat a perception. Then they said, no, NVIDIA can be used more. So this could increase more. In contrast, look, altcoins have dropped. It has risen a little. It hasn't risen enough. This is the total market chart of altcoins, stripped of Bitcoin. So you can think of it as the altcoin chart for us. You can think of it as the general overview of altcoins. It's not the total market cap. Bitcoin has been removed from the total market cap. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would appreciate it if you do. I enjoy reading the comments you leave. I'm also trying to turn these around. In conclusion, will America's dominant influence in artificial intelligence decrease? Has it decreased? Is this dream over? It's called the American dream. China has... It was said that someone developed the same product for 1/3 of the price. Then it was said that NVIDIA chips were unnecessary and NVIDIA dropped. This is also the flagship of the NASDAQ 100. The NASDAQ 100 dropped. The altcoin said, I will drop too. It said, I will drop the most compared to you. Altcoins dropped? That's summary of matter. But right now, everyone is making a move with Elon Musk. They're saying that interest in NVIDIA will increase. Because if we're going to use AI chips at a lower cost, and if we're going to use GPUs, that's a nice development, they say. It's exhausting for the market, but I'm still optimistic about the upcoming period. I don't know what you think about this. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.